Hello, I'm JoeHart. I'm a person with disabilities. I'm live streaming tonight. I've had a pretty hectic and busy and productive day, all related to live streaming and other choices. Um, I'm trying to get more and more structure. Oh, by the way, so sorry for being late. I am OCD, so I'm usually start the stream right at the exact minute. Like if it's scheduled for 7:50, like tonight, as soon as it turns 7:50, I'd go live. And I think that I've done that for every stream, but this one, I think. But anyway, so I do apologize for starting late. I always like to give a shout out to my live viewers and watchers, and what do I say? Watchers, viewers, and listeners. I appreciate all of them. And, some people call them lurkers. I don't usually call them lurkers, but all people are welcome. I think it'd be great if you made a comment and you'd let us know where you are viewing me from, or which platform or destination you're viewing me from. And that'd be really nice. But anyway, as I said at the beginning, I hope to but anyway, hello and hello. Thank you very much. I might go ahead and shout out my other streams. As y'all know, I'm streaming on StreamYard. This right here is on StreamYard on my laptop. I am not streaming over here on my iPad. I decided to not do that today, or I kind of ran out of time to get prepared for it, so I opted not to. But with StreamYard, I can stream to up to 8 different platforms, or I call them, I call them platforms. They call them destinations. And I have been doing 6 for a while, and then I added one, and I added the 2 because 1 wasn't working. And so anyway, 7 of the 8 are working tonight. The 8th one is still having problems. I guess Twitter and StreamYard are fairly incompatible with each other, and they don't get along. I don't know how to describe it, but hopefully I'll figure it out, and they'll figure it out, and tech support will get it up and running again. So anyway, the 7 of 8 that are running, a big shout out, a big thanks to Facebook profile. Thank you very much for watching. Feel free to make comments here or there, or questions or anything. Thank you to Facebook page. Same thing. I appreciate you watching. Feel free to make comments here or there, whichever one. LinkedIn profile, same thing. I'd love to get your comments here or there. And the viewing is just good, And my most recent newer stream, I now have a backup. I have a backup. I'm going to go ahead and YouTube. Hopefully this works. I have a backup. Hopefully the Nightbot will work. But I have a backup YouTube channel. I was told that might be a good idea to do, and there it is. So there's my Nightbot says, please subscribe to my primary channel, JoeHart PwD's 8641, and my backup channel, Francis Assistant -NK1GC. That's Nancy, Kevin, 1, George, Charlie. Thank you very much. So, of course, I can't make anybody do that, but I'd really appreciate it. I don't have very high numbers on either of them yet, but the blackup's just starting. So I'd love to get it above 2. I think I have 2 right now. So anyway, that's that. So anyway, that's I'm streaming to 2 YouTube channels, the one being the JoeHart one, the one being Francis Assistant. And then of course Twitter. That's all. I mean, Twitch is always out there. I don't know much about you, but I'm able to stream to you. So that's awful nice. Feel free to make comments here. Feel free to make comments there. And I'll get to know how to coordinate, how to maneuver around Twitch. I'm still learning. And of course, I tried to do 2 Twitter accounts. The NASCAR Incorporated, a week ago, Thursday, it started having problems and it still continues to have problems. And then the one that did work tonight is JoeHart 901. I might, anyway, I have access to another account. So I might just, I don't know. I don't know what to do with Twitter. Twitter is currently still my largest platform and my most successful platform, but they can't make comments. So I mean, when it's working 100%, they can't make comments. So comments is usually how you engage, and that's how you interact and things like that. So I'm still deciding about StreamYards. I have gotten inspired recently about StreamYards. I finally figured out how to do shorts. Both of my YouTube accounts have 2 shorts on. I mean, it had a first, which I deleted. It was just a test. And then they both now have 2. And then also my Facebook page has 2, the same 2. And Instagram, I'm able to do the Instagram reels from StreamYard. So anyway, that's been pretty exciting and adding value to the exorbitant amount of money that I have to pay StreamYard. It's fairly good price, but I'm disabled and I'm on a fixed income and I have no discretionary money. And anytime I do stuff, I need to fundraise often. So I need to figure out if StreamYards is worth it. And then, I'm sorry, I always put an S on it. It's StreamYard. It's singular. But I keep incorrectly calling it StreamYards. So I do apologize for that. Anyway, that's to the shout out to all those people. Again, thank you for watching me live, making comments. I love to engage. I love to get different opinions. It's good to, let me get rid of this stuff. Hide that and hide that. I would want to, I was going to say something and now I have forgotten what I was going to say, but that happens. My synapses aren't in the shape that they were when I was younger. So anyway, I hope to again, to get back to my schedule, I hope to start structuring my schedule and make it much more consistent. This week really was the first time that I've really tried to implement it. Last weekend, or this past weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, was super busy, and I knew that, and I was telling you all that it was coming up, and but IndyCar, Formula One had their opening race, their first race of the year, this past weekend, and IndyCar had their first race of the season, and NASCAR had their third race. They start earlier than most, and they had their third race, but it was a triple crowner, so it was super busy. So anyway, I probably will continue Friday, Saturday, and Sunday to be just dependent on mostly the TV network schedule for NASCAR stuff, which is currently is mostly Fox Network and FS1, some FS2 and CNBC, or no, I forget something else. And then halfway through the season, or about halfway through the season, then it all switches over to NBC. NBC, NBCSN, and CNBC. And I think it's primarily those 3. So anyway, so that's probably where I'm going to get the schedule, in case I don't get it to y'all just super punctually and super perfectly. I would hope that anyway, if you're interested in that, then NASCAR.com has a schedule. It's called NASCAR on TV, and I print it up every week. But it's with my OCD. As I always say, I'm JoeHart, a person with disabilities, primarily invisible disabilities, and one of my many quirks and idiosyncrasies, which is my terms for my disabilities, is OCD, and it complicates all my projects, and it makes them much more time consuming than otherwise. And so therefore, when I have a really busy week, some things fall by the wayside because I'm putting so much time into the OCD part. So anyway, well, hopefully we'll streamline it a little bit, but it's just what I've got. So anyway, that's Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Monday, this past Monday, I tried to do, by the way, hello to everybody. Please feel free to make a comment, say hello. I welcome all watchers and viewers and listeners, and some people call them lurkers, but you're all welcome. I do always have a couple of people that don't acknowledge their presence, and I'm sure there's more because that number usually, well, for me, the 2 is right there, but in reality, the 2 is over there for you. But I think, and it's anyway, that happens. So and there's a couple people that I would think it might be, but I think some people just do that. They don't like commenting and they're shy and stuff. But I'd love to hear from people. So anyway, this past Monday, my description of my stream was similar to this. It said hashtag this week in motorsports, which is my hashtag. I've used that for about 12 years. My trademark, my service mark, etc. And I've used it on different platforms for different things, but it's roughly the same thing. And March Madness, the one on Monday, and I'd like to get to that sometime tonight. But it ends up I didn't talk about that at all. I ended up talking about results for the 5 races, and then I'm not a big fan of. For some reason, I never got into victory lane, victory circle. It never interested me. It never interested me with who won the race in an odd place. Hey, Joe. Hey, B Survivor. How you doing? It's good to see you. Thanks for being here. How's life? How's stuff? Do you still have do you still have the thing that happened a few days ago? Is that still going on? I hope so. But anyway, so there was that. I kind of forget what I was saying, but hopefully it'll come back to me. So blah, 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 blah. So anyway, I didn't talk about, I did results, and then so I don't really care about the results, but I know as I start doing this much more consistently, many people care about results. So I'm going to have to do the results on Monday. And then also what I care about is points and standings for people. I care who got more points, who jumped, from 7th to 5th, and who dropped from 4th to 9th, and, that kind of stuff. So I like that stuff, and which I covered on Monday. But anyway, I never got to this week in sports. So I'm guessing that's probably going to start being what Mondays are about. I was hoping that Tuesdays would start being about this week in motorsports. That might be true, but I've had I always have distractions, and, there's always more on my plate than what I get done. So, I hope I can, let's see here. I'm good. How are you doing tonight, brother? Still here. Yep. I think he's going to stay at least a few weeks, but he's getting settled in now. So hopefully things calm down soon. Wow. That is so cool. That is so cool. I'm okay. Today has been really hectic, busy, productive. And I don't usually use those words in positive ways, but I would say all those were positive today. So I think, especially hectic, usually I'm like, that kills me. But I think it all in all was pretty good. I think I'm, as I was saying at the beginning of this video, I think I'm trying to get to structure, consistency, and brevity. I mean, I no, I would never use the word brevity, but I'm kind of digging this 60 minutes or less kind of thing. I wouldn't mind getting down to 45 minutes or less, but I can also talk for 10 hours. Sunday I did 10 hours. So that was dependent on the motorsports. Anyway, that's Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That schedule is exempt from anything. That's what does motorsports have going on. That's what that's dependent on. So Tuesday, I hope, is This Week in Motorsports, but that might be Wednesday. And then Wednesday and Thursday maybe is overviews or things I missed or special things or oh, good. I'm glad to hear it. Yeah, I mean, it was pretty good. Thank you. So anyway, I think I'm going to try to do This Week in Motorsports and do just a fairly quick summary. And then two particular series that is happening this weekend, but it's also the opening. It's the first race for two big, relatively big series. I've started doing a lot of things, and I have to watch out because the more I do, sometimes the more I do. And then when I do more, then I get overwhelmed and shut down. So I do have to watch out for that. But as I told you, I used to track 237 motorsports series, with NASCAR being one. So, I mean, it's worldwide and it's anywhere that I find that it's there's a schedule, then I print up the schedule and I track it. Now, way before, I mean, when Idaho 4 happened, motorsports season was about to ramp down anyway. So I stopped being I wasn't working in the future, which I usually am. And and then since then, I haven't done anything. So anyway, the season kind of snuck up on me, and I have like 40 or 50 schedules, instead of 237 of them. And they're probably the most important. But finally, yesterday or the day before, I looked at my big stack and I went, let's start going through it. I'm not going to get to 237 tomorrow, but let's start going through the stack. And then I tried to prioritize, and I tried to pick the 5 most important series, and then the next 5, and the next 5, and the next 5. And I know I can't do that because I always, if I pick the 5 top anything, I usually use one example, but I probably should stop using that example. But if I pick the 5 top basketball teams in the country, I'd probably put 12 teams in the top 5. So so that's what I did. So anyway, I try to do, and so I have 5 different stacks: top priority, second, third, fourth, fifth. That makes it at least not overwhelming to me. So and then within each of those 5 stacks, I reprioritize by looking at it and comparing it to each other. I was putting them in stacks by looking at one at a time, but now that I had all the ones together, I reprioritized to compare themselves. So anyway, I did end up finding 2 that I'm going to go over. One is supercars. It's based out of Australia, which I have an interest or a passion, or I have a connection to Australia for some reason. Mostly probably because Marcus Ambrose, he was from Australia, and he currently lives there now. And he used to race in supercars, but then I met him when he came over to America and started racing for NASCAR, and for about like 7 or 8 years. And then his, family and his kids and his wife became more important. So he went back and stuff. So that's probably the main reason I got into Australia. Anyway, for whatever. And then the other thing that's going on today, I'm not sure if I've talked about this much, but occasionally I would say, if I was independently wealthy and I was a media person credentialed for all motorsports series, and I could travel and cover any of them, my top choice would be Formula E for electric. Formula Electric. So there's Formula One, but they have, it used to be called carburetors, but now they have fuel injection. But same thing. It goes rum, 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 rum. It's really loud and, not super great for the environment. So Formula E, similar cars, kind of, sort of, maybe, but they run on electric and, much smaller. Formula One has 23 races. Formula E I've followed Formula E before they started, like in 2014, I think. And it was always the off season. So I followed, I think they're on season 9. So I followed all of them and I'm like, this is so cool. And I've gone to they used to go to Brooklyn, New York, in downtown New York City, in Brooklyn. And that was really neat. And I went to every race they were there, probably 4 or 5 years. But last July, they're like, I think we're not going to come back. And they wouldn't confirm it. And then finally, it was like, yes, they're going to Portland instead of New York City. So I was bummed about that because I can't afford to go to Portland. Probably the next closest is Mexico, and the next closest is London. They're not very close. So anyway, I probably have missed the opportunity of doing a lot of their races. Anyway, a couple years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, the same company, the same group of people. I don't know if it's the same. I think it is the same board of directors and the same, officers. I think it's the same company for Formula E as it is for Extreme E. And that's what's opening this weekend for the first race of the year. So yes, those in town or in city races, I'm very excited for. I had no idea they did those. So cool. Yeah, it is. It is really neat. And NASCAR is known for being ovals. Take a left and then take a left and then take a left. And then guess what they do? They take a left. And that's what they've been known for years. And people are like, what is there about it? And there's a ton about ovals, a ton of strategy, and a ton. You can have a gas mileage race and you can have a tire strategy race. There's a ton to it. But, it's not so there's road courses that I don't know the definition of road courses, but I think roughly they turn left and right and they have about 10 turns instead of 4 turns. I think that's roughly the definition. But those are preset tracks. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is, Formula One already does street courses, a few, 3, 4. I don't know. I'm just guessing 3 or 4 or 5 of them. And in Formula E for electric, they almost only go. I mean, they want to make the world better and more environmentally, positive. And so they only want to race in downtown areas of all the cities they go to. And, now after 9 years, there's a couple of exceptions, but that's what they want to do. That's, they want people to walk. They don't want people to drive to the race, and they want no parking and, people to walk. It's a pretty cool idea. So anyway, and I don't think I ever finished the NASCAR race. They have come a far distance. Again, I don't know the number, but I bet 3 or 4, maybe 5. I'm just guessing number of races, this year, and there are 36 races that are a street course. One in particular that I can think of the top of my head, because it's been huge and they finally went. This is their first year. It's the inaugural for it. Is they're going to Chicago. I used to live in Chicago. And it's downtown Chicago, going around Grant Park. And I mean, it's downtown Chicago. So that's amazing that their cars are going to pull up to a stoplight, a red stoplight. And, they're going to take a left and go 180 miles an hour. Now, the one thing interesting about Formula E, and I didn't mean to be talking so much about Formula E, although Extreme E, which is electric also, that's going this weekend. But the interesting thing about Formula E, Chicago should be awesome. And I I knew for sure I was going to go. And, at the end of 2022, I probably now won't go, but I might. It's, I don't know. I think it will be. And I used to live there. So, it might be a cool thing to do. But anyway, we'll see how it goes. But I'm not the most mechanically, I'm not a engine genius or anything, or not at all. And so I don't know the nuts and bolts about things. But roughly, of all the cars that race, Formula E is the fastest of compared to Formula One. And in IndyCar, for people that need a carburetor or fuel injection, they think IndyCar is the fastest, and it might. But the thing about electric cars is there is no acceleration. There is no acceleration. You go from 0 to 100 miles an hour instantly. It's an immediate torque. And again, I don't know, but it's immediate. There is no acceleration. You go from 0 to, so that's kind of cool. So even the people are like, I need a carburetor, I need noise, electric, I can't hear. And I'm like, yeah, well, let's get in a race, bub. Let's see what those fuel injection can go against these cars. They can't beat them. So anyway, it's pretty cool. So anyway, Formula E, Extreme E, and but anyway, Extreme E, they're still new. It's like their third year, and they have maybe 4 or 5 races a year, and they go from like February to December. So it's a weird thing. And Extreme refers to a couple of things. Of course, the courses, which I mean, they're not even street courses. These are non-existent courses. They go to the I shouldn't even say those words. That was just an example, and that's not true. They don't do that. I was just thinking up an example. That was not an okay example to use. But I can't. Okay, so it's like going to Saudi Arabia's desert. And that is one of the places they go. They go to Scotland, they go to Chile, but it's a non-existent course, and the course is built. They dig up dirt and move the dirts and make it, rideable and stuff. So the Extreme does refer to the cars and the drivers and the tracks and how extreme it is, but it's mostly referring to, Formula E wants to better the world, like parking and gas. But Extreme E takes on the, that's why there was a poor example that I used. But, Extreme E takes on the Chevron oil spill. And I mean, they take the extreme stuff. They say this must be, and they don't have any pull. They can't say, we won't race here if you don't fix your stuff. They want to bring the awareness, and they want to bring the, a lot of stuff. So anyway, that's this weekend too. So did I already talk about supercars? So supercars, Australia, Marcus Ambrose. So anyway, this week in motorsports, this is what I've been doing every single week. And I've been told by some of my viewers that is forward. Now, I don't expect anybody to be able to read my handwriting, but I've done this every week forever, for like 5 or 6 or 7 years, every single week, and probably most of the normal season for 11, 12, 13 years. And this is what I did. I came up with, the dates and the series and the location and then all these other things. Each color means something. And, so anyway, that's pretty light on a schedule because I have 40 or 50 things I'm tracking, and I want to track 267. So, anyway, supercars and Extreme E was added to this, in the last day because I found out about it. I'm like, oh, it's this weekend. I got to catch up. So, anyway, that's that. Now, let me just show. Oop, that's not where it is. Let me get back on screen. I don't know if this is, I don't know if this is going to work. Let me see if it's available. So present, share screen, window. Nope. Entire screen. Nope. Chrome. I don't see it as an option. So StreamYard crashes and signal. An entire screen. That's too bad. Anyway, I design. Thank you. Chicago should be awesome. So I computerized the top part, but then I handwrite everything else. But I pulled this up, saved it as a new file, and started. Just entered 2 entries for next week as an example. But I think I'm going to try to go computerized so that I can show it to you every week and you can read it because you can't read this. Now, if I do that, then it can't be hand highlighted, and I can't usually decipher it if it's not handwritten. So that'll be a heck of a balance. But anyway, that's all I wanted to show to you. Now, let me, what do we got? 31 minutes. So let me just go through a couple things. I just wanted to show the newer ones added to the schedule. So let's see. So this is SC23. And feel free to send comments or questions. SC. Okay, so this is Supercars Championship Rebco schedule for this year. I just realized, I just printed it up yesterday or so. And, I knew it existed, but it's in Australia. So so I'm going to go full screen and then I'm going to go off the screen to look at it. But anyway, let's just look at the overview. It starts at Thrifty Newcastle 500 and it goes through the Valo Adelaide 500. Well, there's 12 rounds, and there's 12 rounds, and there's 12 rounds, and pre-COVID, Supercars had 24 rounds, 24 races, 24 locations, a lot of repeat locations, but not 2 races in a weekend. It was, they came back later. So it was 24 events, and then it kind of got to 21 or 22, and then COVID, I can't really generalize, but I will anyway. So generally, in an overview of 267 series, or however many I had, 237, 267, it was a bunch. And it's going to be different every year, but something like that. With all of those, most of the COVID cancels, way after COVID hit initially, which the fun fact, I don't know if it's a fun fact, but it blows me away. For the first year of COVID, 2020, I told you I was in Florida and I was going to 4 events, or I was deciding between 4 events in Florida the coming week. And, this is on Tuesday, and then slowly all 4 of them cancel. But anyway, one of them was NASCAR. And so NASCAR did cancel for 2.5, 3 weeks or something like that, or 4 weeks, or, they canceled reasonably. So like 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 weeks. I don't know it exactly. But then they started having races. It ended up they did not miss any races. They made up those 4 weeks. So everybody else, IndyCar was just trying to do the rest of the races. They weren't making up any races they missed. So NASCAR was having races on Wednesday and Thursday. So NASCAR made every race in 2020. That's extreme in my eyes, but it was pretty cool they did that. So anyway, Supercar used to be 24 or more. They're mostly 24 the last, like 5 or 7 years ago when I'd follow them. 24 races. And then toward COVID, and once COVID, they would schedule 21. But anyway, generally Australia and all Far East, Asian, Pacific Rim. I don't know the proper PC word. I think it's Pacific Rim, but between those two, they were the most common cancels, and a lot of times they would cancel the entire schedule instead of just 1 or 2 or 3 races. So I think that's probably why supercars went down to 10 races. It's just they, I think it will be a miracle, a minor miracle, because I'm hopeful, but it might be a minor miracle if they do all 12 of these races. So anyway, so that's the overview. Let me go back to looking at it. Full screen layout, and then I'll go off screen to read it. So, and this is Australia. I don't expect anybody to know these places, but yeah, the opening is, so it's Supercars Championship Rebco. Rebco is the sponsor. I think they're Windows. I used to know what they are. I forgot. 2023 calendar. So round one, see they're in the black, round 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then the dates. So March 10th through 12th is in Newcastle in New South Wales, NSW. March 30th to April 2nd is Albert Park, and that's in Melbourne, and I do believe that is in Formula One goes to Albert Park in Melbourne, but I assume that's the exact same weekend. So it's probably a double header. And then round 3, April 28th through 30th, Perth. I think Perth is the location. And then round 4, May 19th to 21st, Tasmania, which is the island off of the island, I think. I think Australia is an island. New Zealand is a smaller island, and I think Tasmania is the smallest island, I think. I'm not. So anyway, that's Tasmania. And then Darwin, I do believe, is the location. And then Townsville is 6. Sydney is 7, and that's New South Wales again. And then the Bend. And then Sandown and Victoria. And then Bathurst, that's one of the more famous races in Australia, but there's a bunch of it. There's the Bathurst 1000 and 2000 and 1200. And so I forget, this is not the most famous Bathurst, I think. Bathurst is a location, but it's also a very famous race. And I forget which is the most famous. I think Bathurst 1200 is the one that's been around forever and all that stuff. Anyway, this is New South Wales. So you see a pattern. New South Wales, which is one of the, I don't know what they're called. It's similar to Canada, provinces. I think these are provinces. I'm not sure. So Gold Coast, QLD, Queensland. And then the last is Adelaide, might be South Australia. I forget S. I think SA. I think it is. So anyway, that's that. Let me go off screen. So, oh, wow. I'm surprised they made up all the races. Yeah, NASCAR is, they're serious. I don't, it's, if I would really care, or if I would get political, or if I would get really indignant, I would probably say that was not okay that they did that. but for the medical. Oh no, I'm sorry. The first 10 or 15 or 20 or not all the rest of the races for the year, but most of them had no fans, and that's their money. So NASCAR, that not really. TV income is 60% of the money. Tickets are 30% of the money, and then there's another 10%. I forget what it is. But so tickets aren't the majority of the money, but it's still something. So they had 10, 15, 20 races with no fans at all. And media was the example. It was the exception. And they had a few groups that were exceptions. So they would be there, but it would still be, they would be in victory circle, and there'd be no cheering and no music and no, they're like, wow, this is eerie to be racing and then winning and not having any cheering. And, they weren't saying we need to be cheered for us to race fast. They were just saying it's eerie. So anyway, it was pretty wild. And then, yeah, love Australia. Would love to visit one day. Yes, I've never been. I would love to be there. I like that, concept, getting back to the $5 crack house or, hotel, $5 crack hotel. I just love the concept. And I think this is reality. I don't think it's what's it called when, a wife, not wives tale, but I don't folklore. I don't think it's a folklore story. I think it's a real story that Europe or England or some country wanted to get rid of all their criminals, so they took all their criminals and they sent them to Australia. So all of Australia, or most of Australia, was criminals, and I think that's how they were birthed. That was their birthing. That's how they started. And, so I always think of, Australians are, they have testosterone and they're cocky and they're arrogant, but they're confident. And, I'm like, yes, I kind of like that. So anyway, I might be proven wrong on that, but I think that's a real verifiable story. I don't think it's folklore. So anyway, I would love to go. And no, Joe. No, Joe. Weed hotel, at least, no crack hotel. Oh, and now the horrible news that's going on with Mexico. I shouldn't be laughing. It's horrible news. But I was just going to say, oh, no, I'll only do that if I go to Mexico, and I don't think I will. And here we are, the very sad news that a group of 4 Americans from North Carolina went across the border to get a cosmetic operation. And I didn't realize, but News Nation, the gentleman that's on the air the hour before Banfield, who I don't really care for. I mean, the guy I don't really care for, but I have to watch it to get ready for Banfield, which, that's the jury's out for that too. But anyway, so I don't know if I quite believe him, but he said their car was within like 3 blocks from the border. So they just went into Mexico, and 2 of them are unalived and 2 of them have made it back to America, but 1 is still in pretty serious. And so anyway, yeah, hopefully I won't do that in Mexico. Let's hope. I'll see. But it kind of gets back to Chicago. If I go to any race, I'll get the bug again. And then I'll have, I hope I don't go to Chicago, but I think I probably will. So, yeah, so scary. OMG, rest in peace. I didn't know they were 3 blocks away. I mean, not that it matters but I mean, they didn't even, you know what I mean? They didn't drive 5 miles to their hotel and have a meal and spend the night and wake up the next morning and then get into a problem. They were 3 blocks away from the border. So, holy moly. Again, there's no good time for that stuff to happen, but that blows me away. So, yes, very scary. The unharmed woman, at least physically, is the one who is getting the cosmetic operation. There was 1 female and 3 males. And the female was getting the operation, and she was unharmed, at least physically. Emotionally, I think she's torn apart. But 2 of the 3 males are deceased, and they were just going. They had nothing to do with the cosmetic. Anyway, but the 3rd is male, and he was, I don't know his condition, but yeah, it is too bad. I mean, anyway, I don't want to get off on my motorsports thing. So, okay, so Australia would be cool. let me see. So I'm going to stop that stream. So let me do one more schedule for the specific schedule for supercars. That's not. Oh, that is it. Okay. So so this is probably going to be a little hard to read, but this is I mean, to the left is the calendar, the whole calendar, but to the right, the next event. That's for this weekend. So I went off schedule. I went off screen, but I'm still on screen. But I'm going to now go off screen so I can read it. I don't know if you're going to read it. So anyway, again, I'm just blown away that Australia is 13 to 16 hours, approximately thereabouts, ahead of Eastern Standard Time, and that's you know, parts like half, no, less than half, but about a third of Australia does daylight savings time. So, you know, some parts are always 13 hours ahead, and then some are, 14 and a half, or and plus they're half hour ahead. So it's 14 and a half hours or 15 and a half hours. I've never heard of 30-minute, increments. So anyway, I just, I'm just blown away about that stuff. And I know, the earth is round, and, the earth, I know that a day takes 24 hours. So obviously the entire earth is 24 hours. I get that there's 24, roughly 24 time zones, and they're all an hour apart from each other. So obviously Australia has to be a lot of them because it's really far away. Anyway, that's in progress. I don't think anyway. So, Seiko, next exit, next event, March 10th through 12th, Thrifty, Newcastle 500. Now that says in progress, live stream, live timing. I'd love to show that, but the one I picked up for this other series I'm looking, said, don't forget we own all this stuff and blah, 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 blah. So I probably won't show that. Anyway, some of these events are already happening, but here's for the weekend, just to give you how intense supercars, like NASCAR, kind of shut down on practices. They might be adding a couple back, and then they streamline qualifications are almost eliminated. Well, supercars is still doing all of it. So obviously practice 1, 2, 3, again, because the time difference, they're all tonight. They're all Thursday. So 7:15 to 8 o'clock. So that was ended 43 minutes ago. Thursday, 9:45 to 10:30. So that starts in about an hour. And then Thursday, 11:50 p.m. to 12:35 a.m. on Friday. And then next three events is Friday, all the race one stuff. So there's Armor All qualifying race one, and then Armor All top 10 shootout race one, and then actually race one. So Friday, 7:15 to 7:35, Friday, 8:35 to 9 o'clock, Friday, 11:20 to 1:20 a.m. on Saturday. And then, and the wild thing is, some of them do daylight savings time, but this is so far in the future that the whole thing, see there at the bottom, it ends Saturday, or this is Saturday at 11:20 p.m. So that's Sunday at 1:20. So it ends 40 minutes before daylight savings time changes. I was like, what do we do about Sunday? Like NASCAR. NASCAR, and I don't mean to talk about time zones are so confusing. It's pretty wild that I've never heard a 30-minute increment. Did I miss any of y'all? No, horrifying. Yeah, they are pretty wild. But this weekend, which I'll cover later, this weekend, NASCAR is at Phoenix Raceway in Avondale, Arizona, which is Phoenix, Arizona, roughly. And I do believe, or I thought I remembered, that they are officially in the Pacific Standard Time zone. But for this weekend, and I might be wrong on that, but for this weekend, when I always, the weather app, I always put in all the cities so that I can get the time difference and stuff. So I put in, so it came up 2 hours difference. So Avondale / Phoenix, Arizona is 2 hours difference from Eastern Standard Time. Anyway, that's for Friday and Saturday night. And then at Sunday at 2 a.m, one of us change. I guess Eastern Standard Time changes and Phoenix does not change. So then it goes to 3 hours. So they have a TV schedule, they have a track schedule, and all that stuff. And all that stuff switches on Sunday. So Friday and Saturday, it's 2 hours. And on Sunday, it's 3 hours. And therefore, it's 3 hours for 6 months. It's until November 5th, I think, or I wrote it down. I'm these time zones I have to learn. So I've never written them on the schedule, but I did just so I will know what race it will. I think Arizona is 3 hours behind us, I think. And I always thought that. And I still think that. I mean, I think it's formally called Pacific Standard Time. But somewhere, like I said, what time is it in Avondale, Arizona? It comes up 2 hours difference and it says Mountain Time. And I'm like, it's not really Mountain Time. It's just the daylight savings time that makes it 2 hours, even though. So it gets confusing. But anyway, it's, like, how, I grew up Catholic, so we would go to church, and then, Saturday night, it was like, don't forget about, the clock goes forward or backward, or, don't miss church, or don't be an hour early, or, all that kind of stuff. But this is a race weekend. So those drivers are doing one time frame Friday. And when they're at the track doesn't change time. I'm just talking about the TV. So, yeah, okay. So I guess it doesn't affect the drivers, but it does when they flew there. On Friday, they had to get used to the 3 hour difference. But anyway, Friday and Saturday is 2 hours difference. So the TV networks, it's going to be 2 hours difference. And then Sunday, it switches to 3. Golly, I got way off on topic. Sorry about that. Oh, Liza Belro. So Be Survivor. Oh, 2. See, I have no idea. Yeah, it's crazy, but I have to get to know that stuff. So anyway, so let me go back to this screen here. How you doing, Liza Bell Jean? I've had a pretty hectic, busy, and productive day. And I would say all 3 of those words are positive, which I don't usually use any of those positively, but certainly not hectic. But, as you know, I did I did a couple TikToks, and I did a couple Twitter lives, and then I did a couple shorts, which was really cool. I'm glad I figured out how to do shorts. And again, StreamYard allows me to make one, whatever you want to call it, a 60-second video is the only way I can describe it. And then you can send it to 4 destinations. So my shorts are plural, singular, I'm not sure. But hi. So hello. And then Be Survivor, hi. And Be Survivor, Liza, hello, how are you? And Liza Bell says, hello, Joe. Hello, Liza Bell, Jean. And then Liza Bell says, I'm good. And you? To Be Survivor. So anyway, so I make one, whatever it's called, a 60-second video. And I did a little editing today. So I'm like, it was fairly easy because it was just at the end of. You haven't watched the second one yet. I watched the first short. I like it. Thank you. That was, I can critique everything. So, anyway, we'll figure out how to use the first video next time, or just do it over in StreamYard. But yeah, anyway, the video was good. I'm glad I got it out. And boy, did I make a good video. Liza Bell. So Be Survivor says, Liza, I'm good. I missed you. Yeah, that's so sweet. So Yellow Lies about, I did a second one, and so it's 60 seconds, same thing. So anyway, so I make one entity, and I just am learning this about StreamYards for shorts. You can send it to 4 destinations, and or there's only 4 destinations to choose from for that. It's a separate thing, kind of. So I do YouTube Shorts for my first account, YouTube Shorts for my second account, Facebook page Reels as the third destination, and then Instagram Reels, which we can't do Instagram on the normal StreamYard thing, but for these shorts we can. So it's kind of neat that I made one and it went to 4. And I'm not, anyway, I have a long story of why I do that. And it's gonna, my dad, I got conditioned on my dad about writing one letter and mailing it out to 18 people. I know that's not going to be the best way to do things, but that's the way I do it currently. So, anyway, so yeah, it was cool. I don't want to burn, I don't want to burn out and stuff, but so far so good. I did do the 2 Twitter lives. The short was great. The short is great. Thank you. And, I assume I know for sure you saw the 2 versions of the first short, but I'm not sure if you've seen the second short yet. And again, I'm not fishing like, oh, come on, haven't you seen it yet? But if you have seen the second, which really means the third, if you've seen my third short, which is really my second, but it's kind of the third. So, what did you think of that? So the short is great. Yeah. So anyway, the Chase Elliott one is really good, and hopefully I will keep evolving on how to get a teleprompter file to StreamYard, because that was a really good one. That was unpublished. Anyway, so okay, so let me go back to this screen, full screen layout, and I'll go off stream. And so we were on Friday. So yeah, qualifying, top 10 shootout, and race 1 are all on Friday. I did all 3 of those. So the last 3 events, and again, this is Supercars Championship is in Australia. And I tried to get a quick overview of Australia. The entire, I think it's a continent and country, but the entire continent and country is ahead in time zones by 13 to 16 hours, and some of them have half an hour increments. But so it's really far in advance. This weekend, which is I'm blanking out where it is plus 16 hours. So as you can tell, it says convert to event location time. So the top thing says practice 1 is at Friday, 11:15 a.m. And then when I convert to my local time, which is my local time in Eastern Standard Time, it says Thursday at 7:15 p.m. So that is 16-hour difference. So anyway, down here at the bottom, Armor All, this is all for race 2. Armor All qualifying, race 2. Armor All top 10 shootout, race 2, and then the actual race 2. So that's Saturday. Actually, it's the same times as Friday. So Saturday, 7:15 p.m., 7:35 p.m. The top 10 shootout is Saturday, 8:35 to 9 p.m. And then the race is actually 11:20 to 1:20. And that's 2 hours, 20 minutes. That's a long time. NASCAR doesn't have, that's a long time. It seems like a long time. So, okay, that was that for that. Let's see here. So remove from the screen. So Be Survivor. Yeah. Oh, there's a second. I have to watch that one. Yeah. So I'm mixing up the numbers. Chase Elliott. The first one I made was Chase Elliott unpublished because I couldn't figure out how to do it. The first official published was the second Chase Elliott, which I know B, you saw both of those, and I'm pretty sure Liza saw both of those. So I'm calling that my first video, even though it's my second video. And then I did a second short that was published. So it's my second published one. And what was it about? Oh, supercars. So not super exciting, but So I'm certainly making it complicated. Whoops. Second is the third, confused some. I saw two, but they were different renditions of each other. I must see this second, third one. Thank you for adapting to my indulging me. That was that word I was looking for a couple of weeks ago. But thank you for indulging me. But I'm trying to make sense. Yeah. So, it was different. It was Chase and Chase were the two that B saw and I think Liza saw. The next one is supercars. So, and it was, I think it's just to do shorts. I'm not saying that anybody really cares. Oh, okay. I'll find the supercar one. Cool. And she smiles, indulging. Remember when I was trying to look for that word? So, okay. So let's see here. Let me, so the other event, which I was talking about, and this is, I've already done the, I've already talked about This Week in Motorsports, which is the main event. Oh, wait, 101. I wanted to keep it around an hour. Oh my goodness. Okay, so let me we'll see. Anyway, okay, so I'm sorry I'm off on that time. That's what I wanted to do. But so I've already done This Week in Motorsports, and then I was talking about my 237 series that I'm trying to slowly get current with them, and I found two that were real urgent. So that was the supercars, which became, I became really anxious about that, a couple of hours ago, and then Extreme E, I got even more anxious about, which is, it's like Formula E that the cars are run by electric, but it's more extreme. So anyway, let me, so let's see here. So, so I would probably start with the schedule here. Let's see. Oh, I'm already off screen. So, B Survivor, thank you. I'm so late. I didn't know about the supercars one. Yeah, it was pretty cool. I did it. I might have not. I was pretty excited about it. And as soon as I sent it, I might have sent a quick note of, hey, check out my second one. But who knows? Again, probably with that message, you might have said, I've already seen two, so I've seen his second one. But I'm like, no, the second one, whatever. So, okay, I'm going to go off screen, which I already am to you, but now I'm going to go. So, wait, what's that? Oh, where was that? I think this is the third season. I think okay, season 1, season 2 is the history. So this is season 3. This is a brand new thing. So anyway, they're extreme parts of the world that have extreme environmental challenges. And that's why they're going to bring awareness to the extreme environmental challenges. But it's also, these are not tracks. They go and they dig out the track. There is no track when they go here. They dig it out. So now they're going back for a second and third year. So it's kind of dug out already. But anyway, so the first one, which is this weekend, is in Neom, Saudi Arabia. And it's called the Desert X-Prix for extreme. That's round. They're all off. There's 5 locations, 2 races each to make 10 races for the year. So anyway, round 1 and 2 is in Saudi Arabia, Desert X-Prix. Round 2 and 3, it's TBC, so to be confirmed in Scotland, May 13th through 14th. And it's called Hydro X-Prix, which hydro is probably where they have the problem. It has something to do with. So anyway, round 5 and 6, July 8th and 9th. These are really spread out. It's usually February through November. And this is March through, I think it ends in November. So they're really spread out. So round 5 and 6, Sardinia, Italy, July 8th and 9th. And it's Island X-Prix. And let me go over. Round 7 and 8, September 16th and 17th, to be confirmed, expiry. Oh, okay. I think I read that's either something or something. Australia or United States, I think is what this is. So they haven't named it because they don't know what the issue is. So anyway, the last one here is December. That's late. December 2nd and 3rd, round 9 and 10. It's called Copper Express, and it's in Chile. Where are the countries? It's in Chile. I know that. So that was just a quick thing of that. Removed from stream. No problem, Liza. I didn't either. Yeah, the third second one, cake. B, do you do stand up? You're really, I think you're funny. You could be serious. You're just, you're just thank you. That you're really funny. I think you're funny. So, okay. Okay, just keep plowing, Joe. Let's see here. So scare screen. I was gonna do like supercars that I did and show this specific weekend schedule. So that's it right there. I'm already off screen, so I'm gonna now myself go off screen so I can read it. So this is Desert Express, which is this weekend, and then it lists the broadcast. So these are never live. They're 8 hours delayed or blah 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 blah. So anyway, so and I didn't spend too much time reading this. I apologize for that. But anyway, Saturday, March 11th, 2023, the qualifying round 1 is 8 and 9:30. That says Neon Loco, but then my region is to the right, and that's at midnight to 1:30 a.m. So Saturday at midnight, that's really Friday at 11:59 p.m. So final program, which I don't really, I shouldn't do this. But anyway, so it's March. Oh, wait. So Saturday, March 11th, Sunday, March 12th. Where to watch it? USA. Qualifying round 1 and final is on Fox Sports 2, but it's way later. Broadcast delayed at 18:30 Eastern Daylight Time. So it's never live. Anyway, it's extreme. It's the lights, nice. You mean my? Yeah, you've seen them, right? They keep changing every day. They change a little more. The white, anyway, the white was too bright for Twitter, so I unplugged them. But it's evolving. I don't want to be I'm not a Grinch or anything around Christmas and stuff. And I know it's March 9th, but I would never want to give people the impression that I'm a Grinch. So anyway, so the lights are nice. So thanks, Joe. I could be a stand-up comedian and put my legs on. I won't laugh. That's not funny. So I think you could. I think you're funny. You got and I only get words, so I don't know your voice inflection and stuff. But you know what? Another thing with you, I mean, I kind of know you, but I think I know your voice inflection. I think I can guess how you wanted to read that comment. So it helps to know if it's funny or serious or so. Anyway, so okay, you're welcome, man. Woman, man, woman, you know what? And there I'm back. Okay, so stop that screen. Oh, come on. That was funny. Okay, I'll laugh. If it's okay with you to laugh, I'll laugh. Come on. That was funny. See, that's your voice inflection, isn't it? I can hear you. It's, so that's good. So, extreme. Now, I'm not gonna. Yeah, that I can't show you that. Xfinity, Extreme E. Liza Beljean says, "Be Survivor, you are terrible, making us laugh at that stuff." Be Survivor, Liza Teehee. Liza, I'll laugh for you too. So okay, so Extreme E has this live timing, and it's done by Al Kamel Systems, who are phenomenal and great and stuff. But as I'm getting into it, it says, "Don't you forget, we own all this stuff, and you can't share it." And I'm paraphrasing. I don't know what they said, but it's really cool. It's multicolored. It shows the laps, the gap, the best, S1, S2, S3, S4. I guess they have 4 segments. LPT, I don't know what it is. So, but I'm not going to show it. So, so let me see. Let me go off screen. So let me get rid of that. Oh, let me, I don't know, did my, so how'd that happen? So I'm sorry, I guess I have 2 different Nightbots about my, anyway. Let me do this. This is the one I want to do because it has both of me. So let me see what that does. I think that I typed it in manually. So this should be the 2. Anyway, I'm sorry. I added a couple things to Nightbot, but I didn't edit and look at what I had. So yeah, please subscribe to my primary channel, JoeHart PwD S8641, and my backup channel, Francis Assistant dash NK1GC, as in Nancy, Kevin, 1, Greg, Charlie. Thank you very much. So I'll try to, you know what I mean. You know what I mean. So, so I guess I'll end. I'm sorry. So let me do. I'm going to just talk about March Madness a bit. So I'm originally from Louisville, Kentucky. The closest professional team to Louisville is Cincinnati Reds. So I grew up loving college stuff, and football was no good. So I liked college football. I mean, college basketball, and I loved it. In Louisville, Cardinals is generally very good. We've won 2 championships. For some reason, I was a tutor at the University of Louisville Speed Scientific School. I was a tutor, and so I tutored 3 of the basketball players that won the championship. So I know it's weird, although, I'm genius, Liza Beljean, Be Survivor. Do you know what is March Madness? I'm sorry, Liza Beljean. Okay, so March Madness is a term. It's a very famous term to refer to the final playoffs of college basketball season. So all college basketball teams play teams, and they have like 20 games. And then they're also in a conference. And then all the conference plays each other, and they have, 8 teams, and then 4 teams, and then 2 teams, and 1 team wins. And then when all the conferences are over, then they have whatever it says there, Selection Sunday. So this coming Sunday is Selection Sunday. Ooh, college. So Be Survivor. I don't know, Liza. I'm just learning. I am so sorry. I'm from Louisville, Kentucky. I thought everybody knew what this stuff was. So, anyway, I've grown up. I've been to, the Final Four is really big. It's bigger than the Super Bowl. It's bigger than the World Series. It's huge, and it's now very expensive. But in my lifetime, I've been to about 4 or 5 Final Fours, and I would road trip, and I'd go to all. So anyway, for the past 8 to 10 years, March would come by and Selection Sunday would happen, and I'd go, OMFG. I forgot about March Madness again. I'm not going to hit the road. I'm not going to be media, and I'm not going to cover the games. And that happened for 8 to 10 years. And I'm like, I want to hit the road and cover these things. And I think I've told you my philosophy about media. I personally think, first of all, I'm not sure if rules apply to me or not. I have to curb that a bit because, Big Brother's watching. But my philosophy is if I live stream, I can cover any any sport or any event in the world, which I have, So Be Survivor. I think it's different in different sports. I think March Madness for baseball is the start of preseason for pitchers and catchers. Don't quote me on that. It could be. I don't know much about any other sport. Know a little bit about football and baseball, but not much. I would say probably not, but it could be. So Liza Belgene, learning tool. So glad that I was not the only one. Be Survivor. No, you're not the only one. Okay, yeah, I hit the ground running. So anyway, for 8 to 10 years, while I'm doing motorsports, while I was doing the 2020 presidential election, while I was doing all this stuff, I'm like, I want to hit the road. So anyway, I thought of March Madness 2, 3, 4, 5 days ago, whatever it was, 3 or 4 days ago. And I'm like, I've remembered it in time. I am going to hit the road. So I hope I hit the road. I don't know if I will. It all depends on everything. My motivation, my focus, my money, my lack thereof, my creatively getting into. So Be Survivor. I've heard of this March Madness, but I don't know what it is. So let me go to the. I'm going to go full screen layout, and then I'm off screen for you, but I'm also going to go off screen for me so I can read it. So let's go to the top here. It says, let me see. So starting up here, NCAA.com, March 9th, 2023. So March 9th is today. I saw this before today, so they probably means it was updated today. Usually they have a start date and then they show when they updated. I've seen this before today. Anyway, 2023 March Madness and men's NCAA tournament schedule, dates and times. Now, NCAA, which is, National Collegiate Athlete Association or something like that, that applies to all sports. So NCAA is baseball, basketball, football, hockey, all of them, swimming. I swam in college. So anyway, tournament schedule, dates and times. So we bring it down here, and it says the 2023 men's NCAA tourney for March Madness starts with first 4 games in Dayton, Ohio, and continues through to the 2023 Final Four in Houston. Now, the first 4, it's officially what it's called. First 4 games in Dayton, Ohio. It's been that way for about 20 or 30 years. It's weird. That's a story in itself. But anyway, the complete men's 2023 March Madness tournament scheduled dates and locations are. And then, anyway, this coming Sunday is, I already mentioned, it's the Selection Sunday. Anyway, that's, it's Sunday, March 12th at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on CBS. Like 5:45 p.m., all the tournaments are finishing. So they can't pick teams until, like, if you win your tournament, or for most, not districts, I said it earlier, whatever word I used, if you win that tournament, you're automatically invited. It's really prestigious to be invited. And, 68 or 65 teams go to it, and there's like double that. So not everybody gets to go. So anyway, Selection Sunday is when we find out who goes. That's at 6 p.m. Sunday. So I'm of course, going to be watching that, etc. I don't really care who goes because I just want to go to the event. So let me see what else here. So Liza Beljean, I'm very boring, B Survivor. I'll follow the pros, and that's it. College is so exciting. But it's not this way anymore. But when I was younger, I used to always say, college, I would say college, anybody can win. Similar to the movie, on any given Sunday, which is not when games are, on any given Saturday, any team can win. Back then, I would always say, pro teams, you already know who's going to win. There is no unpredictability. It's boring. Everybody just wins. And I know that's not true anymore because, even professional players are divas and they're emotional wrecks. And so they can have good and bad days. So, B Survivor. I do like college sports. They're pretty good. Yeah, it's pretty cool. And again, I'm not involved with this at all. It's whenever March comes around and I go, OMFG, I missed it. Well, I haven't missed it now, so I can do this possibly. So anyway, full screen layout, and then I'm going to go off screen again. So, okay, so the first four, which is March 14th and 15th, I think that's Monday, Tuesday. No, Tuesday, Wednesday. And then it officially starts. So first and second round is Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Nope, I'm sorry. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Yes, I'm sorry. And then Sweet 16, Elite 8 is Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then the final two is Saturday, Monday. So it's 3 weeks in a row. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Saturday, Monday. And with this thrown in. So I need to, for me, everything is about distance because I can't afford gas anymore. And I never really could. I could always fundraise, but this is too soon. And anyway, so that's the cities. Be Survivor. I don't follow them though, but they're fun to watch sometimes. Yeah, it is pretty cool. I mean, these are plus also, I mean, I don't know if I don't know. I'm anyway, I used to be involved, but it's been 25, 30 years that I've been involved. But I think it's pretty cool these days that now athletes can be paid of sorts, it used to be, they would get a pair of tennis shoes and they were thrown off, like the school would be charged with doing something illegal and the player would be thrown off the team because he got a pair of tennis shoes. And I don't agree with that, but that's the way the rules work. If you're an amateur athlete, you can't get paid. Well, then the coaches started making, $500,000 and then $2 million a year and then $6 million a year. And the students were like, wait a minute, I'm winning the game for you and you make $6 million a year. So they, they worked at it and they brought it to court and blah, 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 blah. But anyway, they have I don't know what the phrase is, likeness. There's 3 letters. Liza Beljean, you probably know this. There's 3 letters and it's the initials and it's huge in sports now. It's huge in college sports now, but it's likeness, photo and voice. I can't think of what it is, but they can now sell themselves. They can now sell. So I think it's kind of cool that it's, I don't want anybody to be paid $1 million, but anyway, they're paid amateur students. They're paid. So I guess that's kind of professional. So anyway, that's fairly new. 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. Liza Beljean, can you do the research? What's that 3? I know one of them is likeness, but I don't know if that's first, second, or third. That means JoeHart looks like this, but they can show a photograph that kind of looks like JoeHart, and that's my likeness. So I sell my likeness. So anyway, it's 3 words, three. You got what I said by now. So it's huge. It's legal. It's there's these, it's not basketball shoes anymore. It's a major, and I don't know the biggest contract. Again, Liza Belgene, you'd love to look that stuff up. I wonder what the biggest contract is currently. They're all on the books, they're all above board because these are all legal now. So now, and I'm sure they're public and they have to tell us and stuff. But so yeah, it'd be pretty interesting to see what. Okay, enough about that. I'll go. So I'm going to go back off screen. So obviously, these are the cities, for the the first 4 is Dayton, Ohio, Birmingham, Alabama. And I don't really care who plays. I mean, I, of course, have favorites, but I just care about the location. Is the gas easy to get there? So Dayton's pretty far, Birmingham's further, Des Moines further, Orlando's further, Sacramento's impossible, Albany, super close. Columbus, pretty far, but I think that's like the 4th closest city. I've already mapped out all these cities, and I have them ranked, but I don't know what it is. Denver, pretty far. Greensboro, I think, is 3rd or 4th closest. Las Vegas, too far. New York City, that's the 2nd closest city. And those are 2 different rounds. So probably for March 17th and 19th, I'm going to go to Albany. And probably for March 23rd through 25th, I'm going to go to New York. Now, usually once I hit the road, I stay on the road. I might come home because that's 4 days, but I don't know. I like staying on the road. And that's Madison Square Garden. Am I really going to get in as media? I hope so. But anyway, Kansas City, pretty far. Louisville, far, but I'm from Louisville, Kentucky. Oh, wait, that's the same weekend. So I would do the New York instead of Louisville. And then the final 4 is Houston, and I can't do it. So anyway, it looks like the only things I'll do is Albany and New York City. So the 17th, 19th, 23rd, 25th, I don't know how that's going to work, but it will probably trump everything else. It'll probably trump NASCAR and Formula One. I don't know how it works. I mean, I plan to get in as a media person, and tickets are, astronomical. I think one of my friends started looking up ticket prices, and they start at like $133 and they go higher. So I'm not going to pay for a ticket. So if I get it as media, great, I'll cover it. And if not, I would just go to the closest truck stop and set up Wi-Fi and blah, blah, blah. And if I did that, then I might start doing other motorsports. So anyway, this is just a heads up. If I'm running out of time as far as doing sponsorship and fundraising and stuff. But, if I get an angel that sends me some gas money, I might do the pre-race, the pre-race at Dayton, Ohio. Again, my sister lives near there, and I used to live in Dayton. So that would be, anyway, I've moved a lot. I've been thrown out of colleges. I'm associated with firsthand, not my brother. I'm associated with colleges firsthand. I think it's 8. I think it's 8 colleges. I don't want to list them because it's embarrassing what I've done. But so when these schedules come out, I'm like, oh yeah, I went there. Oh yeah, I went there. Oh yeah, I went there. So anyway, that's all that was going to be. It's just to give y'all a heads up that as I'm ramping up all this motorsports, which I'm proud of this and I'm happy and I'm glad I'm doing it. But March Madness, which is the playoff championship for college basketball. And yeah, it's going to be those dates. It's going to be March 14th through April 3rd. And it used to end in March. That's why I called it March Madness. But all the events except the Final Four is in March. And then the Final Four is April 1st and 3rd. So it's close enough. They can call it March Madness. Okay. So I think that was all I wanted to cover. I apologize that I went an hour and 30 minutes or a little more than that, but thank you for being here. Thank you, B Survivor. I really appreciated you being here. Liza Belgene, I'm glad you were here. thank you for both y'all letting me know that you weren't really sure what the March, or you weren't aware of what March Madness was. And so I hope I gave a pretty good explanation. And again, Liza Bell Jean, what are those? You don't need to do it now, but that likeness, name, likeness, NL, something else, knowledge or intelligence, name, likeness, intelligence, or something. It's big stuff. People can sell that stuff. So, and obviously, if your name is John Smith, that's not as valuable as a very unique name. So anyway, cool stuff. So thank you, all my viewers live. Thank you for all the comments. Thank you for all the other stuff. Thank you for watching those shorts. If everybody could go follow me on both those YouTube channels and also watch my 2 shorts. I'm going to start figuring out these shorts and see if they're worth it. And Instagram is like a new thing. I did a couple TikToks today, so that's going to be ramping up. I need to go live on TikTok. I need to go live on TikTok, but I need 1,000 followers. So TikTok will probably continue or become more of a priority for me right now. I love Twitter and all righty, Joe, no problem. I'll keep an eye out for the next one. See you later, Liza. Well, thank you, B Survivor. And tomorrow's Friday, so it's all about the schedule of the motorsport. So I'll see how it looks. I'm going to try to schedule as many of them in the future as possible. So it might be 2 streams a day or 3 streams a day, or and I'll watch that 3rd second one. And feel free to send me feedback, honest feedback. I appreciate your candid and honest feedback. Liza has no problem with that, but B, you're so nice. I hope I didn't offend you by putting in the word honest, but you're just too nice and you want to support. So that's why I'm saying, honest feedback and stuff. So, okay. So anyway, again, thank you to all the live viewers. Thank you for the replay viewers. Thank you so much. Feel free to make a comment everywhere. That's how I can track you and follow you and all that stuff. And thank you to all my streams. I tried to do 8 tonight as usual recently, and I only was able to do 7 as usual recently. So thank you to Facebook profile. Thank you for the comments and the views, and Facebook page. Thank you for this ditto. LinkedIn profile. Thank you for the views and the comments. YouTube, there's 2 of them. That's my newest stream I've had. It is YouTube JoeHart and YouTube Francis for my baby boy. And then Twitch. I'm still learning about Twitch, but I can keep streaming to it. Someday I'll figure it out. And then Twitter, the JoeHart 901 works, but the NASCAR Inc. does not work. So anyway, thank you to all of them. And I think that's it. I'll do my usual end broadcast. I hit it twice. I'll count down, and then I'm going to check those streams, and then I'm going to hit leave studio. So the comments will be open for a little bit. So again, thank you, B. Thank you, Liza. And thank you, Nightbot. Oh, I keep forgetting to thank Nightbot. Thank you, Nightbot, so much. I'll try to clear it up so you don't list Francis Assistant twice. But different, but similar. So, okay. Thank you, Nightbot and everybody. So end broadcast in 3, 2, 1. And then end broadcast, I'm going to hit again, 3, 2, 1, and then it spins around and stops. So end broadcast